Good afternoon. Today's April the 9th of 2025, and I'm here to speak to you about the potential devastating consequences of a Department of Energy project called the National Interest Transmission Electronic Corridor. And this corridor is a proposed 125-mile swath up the eastern border of the state of New Mexico, nearly 6 million acres, which would absolutely devastate the economy of the entire eastern part of New Mexico. It also starts in the southern part of New Mexico. Who am I? I'm Dr. Mark Van Wormer. I'm the Chief of Staff of Union County General Hospital. I'm the hospitalist of Union County General Hospital. I'm also the Director of the Rural Health Clinic and the Trauma Director of Region 4, Level 4 emergency room for this part of the state. Our hospital has been in existence since approximately 1962. It has a $6 million per year payroll and over 100 employees who are here. If this hospital wasn't here, this town wouldn't be here, and vice versa. We service 4 corners of the state of New Mexico, and including Kansas, Colorado, New Mexico, the Texas Panhandle, and portions of Oklahoma Panhandle as well. The Level 4 Trauma Center at our hospital is extremely busy. I staff that trauma center 24/7, 4 days a week. Another physician staffs it 24/7, 3 days a week. The impact of this proposed corridor would absolutely devastate and create Armageddon on the east side of our state. From what I can understand, the Department of Energy has not come forth in a rightful manner to explain what the corridor intentionally would do other than some transmission lines, but we understand from paperwork from the Department of Energy that essentially a 125-mile swath up the entire eastern border of the state could be used for solar, wind, nuclear, storage of nuclear waste, storage of batteries. The problem is that in 2021, the Biden-Harris Commission signed on to the Paris Accord, Energy Accord, and decided that there should be increased transmission in the United States. And they have chosen several areas, and eastern New Mexico is one. And through the doctrine of least tiers, in other words, least people impacted, they think they can absolutely plow up the eastern part of the state and devastate it with the horrible results of transmission lines, energy generating substations, windmills, solar panels. There have already been shown in numerous studies to be severe environmental consequences, but more than that, by eminent domain, which is not even in the purview of the Department of Energy, and constitutionally has been proven in numerous cases that the Department of Energy does not have the ability to apply eminent domain to the existing businesses and residences and cattlemen that occupy this area. They propose to come in and essentially take the land for whatever they want, which would be devastating to our economy, devastating to the flora and fauna of this area, would result in a decimation of the town of Clayton and many of the towns up and down the eastern border of the state of New Mexico, and actually result in a barren field, essentially of nuclear Armageddon, for the benefit of transmitting a power source which is not yet given in the southern part of the state to a potential place of reception, which is also not yet determined, in another part of northern Colorado. A statement by the Department of Energy stated that the electrical needs of this area would increase 915% by 2035 and therefore it is imperative that we place the transmission lines in this certain part of the state where there's least population to cause least damage to the people. Well, that is not the case. This is a fairly heavily populated eastern part of the state because of cattle ranching and wheat farming and corn. We are agricultural for sure. We are not industrial. The entire municipality of Clayton would be destroyed. People would move out. The hospital would close. The economic development of this area would stop. I am the past Union County Economic Development Executive Director from 2008 to 2015, have written numerous grants, and I'm very involved in civil business in this city and state. And based on what I've seen about this project, it's basically going to change in the entire livelihood of the area and essentially lay waste to the flora and fauna of this area, and I'm strongly opposed to it.